The stage is set for a playoff collision that feels ripped straight from the history books, a rematch of NFC heavyweights with everything on the line. San Francisco arrives in Philadelphia battered but battle-tested, a team that has spent the entire season embodying the next man-up mentality. Their path here wasn't pretty. It was a grind through significant injuries, particularly on a defense that spent months as a patchwork unit trying to plug glaring holes. Yet, they persevered, finding their identity in resilience. Their offense, once reuniting its key components late in the season, began to flicker with that familiar, dangerous flame, the one capable of surgical strikes and explosive plays. That fire, however, was decisively extinguished by Seattle's formidable defense to end the regular season, presenting a glaring concern. Now, they walk into the Lions' den, facing a Philadelphia defensive unit that lives in the same elite neighborhood, surrounded by a sea of hostile green. Philadelphia, in stark contrast, enters this fray rested and relatively whole, their stars preserved for this exact moment to defend their crown. This season hasn't always felt like a coronation procession, the weight of the title has been palpable at times. Their offense occasionally resembled a glitchy machine, sporadic, unpredictable, and out of sync. But the playoffs represent a hard reset. The Eagles' defense has been the unwavering constant, the bedrock that held the fort while the offense searched for its rhythm. This group surrendered a mere 19 points per game, a top 10 unit in the red zone, and presented a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. They allowed the second lowest passer rating in the league, the fewest touchdown passes, and the lowest completion percentage. This isn't just a good defense, it's a suffocating system designed to dismantle offensive game plans. For San Francisco's Brock Purdy, the challenge is monumental. He isn't facing a defense with one or two stars, he's walking into a gauntlet manned by an elite cornerback trio. Quandre Knight, with his 17 passes defensed and a passer rating against of just 62, patrols one side. Cooper DeJean, the ball-hawking rookie with 15 pass breakups, lurks in the slot. The veteran Adoree Jackson, with 11 deflections, holds down the other boundary. Collectively, Philadelphia held wide receivers to a 76.3 passer rating, intercepting 7 passes while allowing only 6 touchdowns to the position. This secondary doesn't just cover, it confiscates. The question becomes whether Purdy can find his primary weapon, Deebo Samuel, whose season was marred by ankle and knee issues. Samuel's explosiveness is undeniable, 4 games over 80 yards in just 9 appearances, but his durability against this physical unit is a major variable. When the deep shots to Samuel are covered, Purdy will look to Demarcus Robinson, who emerged as a legitimate threat during injuries, and the consistent Jauan Jennings, who quietly led the 49ers with 9 receiving touchdowns. Jennings possesses a unique talent for finding soft spots in coverage and thriving after the catch in critical moments. Yet, the most fascinating individual matchup in the passing game might be at tight end. George Kittle, the heart and soul of the 49ers' offensive energy, is coming off a stretch where he found the end zone in 6 of his final 7 games. He is the ultimate chaos agent, a blocker and receiver who can dismantle a game plan. He now faces the one defense in the NFL that was categorically the hardest on tight ends, holding them to a minuscule 72.0 rating and snagging 4 interceptions. This is strength versus a movable object. Of course, the undeniable centerpiece of San Francisco's offensive universe remains Christian McCaffrey. His season was a testament to volume and will, grinding out over 1,200 rushing yards despite a less-than-ideal 3.9 yards per carry average. He was held under 4 yards per rush in 12 of 17 games, often creating something from nothing. His late-season burst against Indianapolis and Chicago offered a reminder of his peak form. Philadelphia's run defense presents a curious dichotomy. They were slightly above average, allowing 4.2 yards per carry to running backs, but they were notably vulnerable against them in the passing game. They surrendered a 102.6 passer rating to backs, a critical weakness when facing McCaffrey, who isn't just a runner, he's the team's leading receiver. His 102 catches, 924 receiving yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns make him Purdy's ultimate safety valve and most dangerous weapon. When the pocket collapses or the deep routes are smothered, Purdy will instinctively look for number 23 leaking into the flat, turning a simple check down into a potential game-breaking play. Purdy himself arrives not off a hot streak, but following a game where he couldn't solve the Seattle puzzle. Prior to that, however, he was operating with crisp efficiency, averaging around 240 yards per game with a passer rating well over 100. His protection has been surprisingly stout. He took only 11 sacks in his 9 starts. Right tackle Colton McKivitz allowed a team-high 5 sacks, but that number is hardly a disaster. The health of legendary left tackle Trent Williams looms large, however. His presence on the edge is the difference between Purdy having time and Purdy being under siege. He will need every bit of that time against an Eagles pass rush that generated 42 sacks while blitzing at the second lowest rate in the league, a sign of a fearsome 4-man rush. Jalen Carter leads the charge with 6.5 sacks, but the pressure comes from everywhere, a relentless wave that wears down offensive lines. Flip the script, and we find the game's true X-factor, the Philadelphia offense versus the San Francisco defense. On paper, the Eagles possess the same potent cast that won them a championship: Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. Yet, for long stretches this season, the unit has looked clunky, a step out of rhythm. The switch-flipping potential, however, is terrifying. Hurts remains a dual-threat titan, accounting for 25 passing and 8 rushing touchdowns. His 26 rushing yards per game add a dimension that San Francisco's defense has actually handled well this season. Their vulnerability lies in defending traditional running backs, allowing a generous 4.5 yards per carry. They were gashed for 97 yards by Kenneth Walker and gave up a score to Zach Charbonnet late in the year. Philadelphia's ground game, led by the steady DeAndre Swift, who cobbled together over 1,000 yards himself, will look to exploit this. The aerial attack is where Philadelphia can truly explode. The 49ers secondary, while ending the year on a high note by stifling Seattle, has been porous against wide receivers for much of the season, allowing a 105.0 passer rating to the position with 15 touchdowns against only 3 interceptions. This sets the stage for A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, both 1,000-yard receivers, to dominate. They will match up against 49ers corners Renardo Green, who was solid but not spectacular, and Deommodore Lenoir, who allowed a team-high 6 touchdown receptions. If Hurts has time, this mismatch could define the afternoon. The wild card is Dallas Goedert. While his yardage was modest, his 11 touchdown catches led the team, presenting a red zone nightmare for a 49ers defense that has been middling against tight ends. Time is the critical element for Hurts, and here, San Francisco faces its greatest defensive dilemma: generating pressure. The 49ers finished with the fewest sacks and the second lowest pressure rate in the NFL. Hurts has been sacked more than twice, only once in his last 8 games. If he stands clean in the pocket, he will pick apart the coverage. Should the game descend into a field position battle, San Francisco holds a slight edge with kicker Eddie Pinheiro, who connected on a league-best 96% of his field goals. Philadelphia's Jake Elliott was less reliable at 74%. In a game featuring 2 teams with nearly identical records against winning opponents, and with history hanging in the air from the NFC Championship game 2 years prior to the mud-soaked 1996 playoff clash, every single point will be earned through sheer force of will. This isn't just a playoff game, it's a structural stress test between control and chaos, where every weakness will be probed and every strength will be met with equal fury.